homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, it's time to plant our tomatoes. Now, if you remember, I did not plant tomatoes in the basement this year because I just had too many other things going on. My greenhouse wasn't done, so I didn't plant them in there either. So this year, the garden is consolidated. I'm only planting 48 tomato plants this year. My average is usually about 150. But this year I'm just planting 48, and I'm not planting determinate tomatoes. I'm not planting those tomatoes that you use to can, like Romas. I'm not planting Romas or Celebrities or nothing like that. I'm only planting large heirloom tomatoes. And so what I did is I went over to our store that sells tomatoes that are propagated by the Mennonites. The store is not Mennonite, but they buy their stock from the Mennonites, so from the Mennonite greenhouse. So I'm going to show you what we're going to plant. Of course, I watered these good first. The very first one, this is a hybrid tomato. It's something I plant every year. It's a Tommy Toe, or a little tiny tomato, called a Sun Sugar. They are a little yellow cherry tomato, and they're just my favorite. Next, I think I got 16 of those Sun Sugars. Now, then I got 16 of these. This is a Cherokee Purple. These are a lot smaller, so I'll have to be more careful planting them. I'll probably plant them all the way up to there, but we'll show you how to plant them here in a minute without bending over. Let's see, what else do I get? Cherokee Purple. Oh, I remember. I got a red Brandywine. That's a tomato that we grow from seed. All these tomatoes except the Sun Sugars we grow from seed ourselves each year, but I just didn't do it this year. Red pink Brandywine. And finally, a yellow Brandywine. So there's 48 tomatoes total. Oh, no, this is a Kellogg's Breakfast. I thought this was a yellow Brandywine, but it's not. What did I do? Well, that'll be all right. I do not grow the Kellogg's Breakfast, so that's something new for us. I like new stuff. So let's look here at the garden and see what we're going to do. Now right here's my garden. I got out last night and plowed the whole thing. The only thing I've got in this garden right now is right here and right there, and then right here, right there is onions. That's the only thing growing in the garden right now. So the tomatoes are the first thing to go in this garden. The potatoes are in the flat garden. This is the hill garden. Now, if you look, right there is a row, but that's too close to the onions. Right here's a row, and there's about 4 feet between those. But I want to leave plenty of room to put my cages and still till down by them with the tractor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here in this part, in between the rows, and that way I've got plenty of room to get my tractor between the onions and the tomatoes, and still put my tomato cages on without a problem. So let's get to doing that. Now, if you follow the channel, you know that I have a bad back. I've got multiple sclerosis, and it causes me to have back issues. So, I use a little folding table out here in the garden. It just makes life so much simpler. Put this table on, and that's a spot where I can set my trays, and then I don't have to worry about running back and forth or picking up trays off the ground. Picking up trays off the ground is a killer for me. So here's my tomato flat, 48. I've soaked them good with water, and this tray will hold them just fine. I may need to raise it one more, because I'm going to be in this dirt down here. Let me raise that one more click. Alright, now I can reach and get these right here without having to bend over, and they're just right there at hand. Now the next thing I'm going to use is a pipe planter. This is my pipe planter. Okay, it's just a piece of PVC pipe cut at about a 20 degree or 30 degree angle, and I'm going to show you how to use this so that you don't have to bend over. Let me back up here a little bit. See here, this is at this height, so I don't have to bend over. Let me show you putting a tomato in from the top, and then I'll show you from the bottom, because it's hard to get everything in one picture. So let's do that. I don't know why the camera didn't record, but it didn't on that showing you far away. But it's just real simple. You take your thing, the tip end should be on the other end. You set it like this, and then you kick it down into the dirt. You pull some dirt up around it. If you do it right, you can turn loose of the pipe, and it will stand on its own. Now, you just drop a tomato down in there, and when you pull out, there's the tomato right there on the ground. You pull some dirt around it, and that tomato is ready to go. Let's do another one. Now you want to put these a good 18 inches apart. Let's see, I'll have to move the camera so you can see. You want to put these a good 18 inches to 2 feet apart. I've got 48 tomatoes in that flat, and they're all indeterminates. Okay, that means that they're going to be up to 11 feet long. I'll put a 5-foot tall cage on them, and they'll come out the top of the cage and all the way over the bottom. So there's got to be plenty of room here between them. So you kick in. Again, if you do it right, it stands up on its own. You get a tomato. And these tomatoes are good and wet. So again, I won't have to water them. And there it is down in the hole. Just bring some dirt up, and that tomato's ready to go. Don't worry about if you cover up a leaf. It'll be alright. All along the stem of the tomato, it will develop roots. Now I need to get down through here and put all the rest of them. So let's get at that. Okay, that's 24 in. This coat's got to go. I'm out of breath. That's 24 in, and I'll do the next 24, and then off camera. You don't need to see me doing all of them, and I'll do them off camera, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, 48 tomatoes in the ground. Now, somebody asked me one time, do you lose them doing it this way? Well, sometimes I do. Of those 48 tomatoes, I might lose 3 or 4. But I don't let that stop me. Normally I plant between 150 and 200 tomatoes every year. This year we're down a little bit because I've got so many other things that need to get done. So now, as far as these go, tomorrow morning, if it hasn't rained and we don't have a heavy dew, if rain's coming, you don't get a heavy dew. So if we don't have a heavy dew, I will come out in the morning and water those. I'll just put it in my little 3-gallon pump sprayer and come out here, drive by them with my tractor and just water them. Spray some water down in on them. But then tomorrow evening and for the next 3 or 4 days it's supposed to rain. That'll settle them in the soil really good. And I doubt that I lose more than 3. I doubt that I even lose 3. We'll probably not lose any of this batch because they're small enough that I can tend them close. Now, if you like this stuff, this homestead and do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homestead stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. Now, if you hit the little bell when you come to the channel, it'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload every Sunday. Now, with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.